welcome to Would I Lie to You, the show where deception always gets a good reception. On Lee Mack's team tonight, a comedian who once wrote a book of made-up facts about pandas. Well, that's the thing with panda facts, they're never black and white. It's David O'Doherty. A breakfast TV presenter who tells us what the day's weather is going to be like, saving us all the arduous task of looking out of the window. It's a BBC Weather's Carol Kirkwood. And on David Mitchell's team tonight, a Glasgow-born comic who'll mix delicately spun lies with good old-fashioned Scottish aggression. It's Susan Calman. And a man who's done almost 490 Pointless shows. And if you count tonight, 491. From Pointless, Richard Osman. So to round one, Home Truths, where our panellists read out a statement from the card in front of them. To make things harder, they've never seen the card before, so they've no idea what they'll be faced with. It's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction. Richard is first.
I have a 40% stake in a prize-winning racing pigeon.
Lee.
If there's one thing I know about, it's buying pigeons. So be careful with your answer. Tell me now, Richard, how much do you pay for 40% of a pigeon?
We paid £600.
Ah, you were robbed.
And it's about £70 a month to keep them, which is
£70 a month?
Yeah.
Wow.
That is a lot of trill.
We don't feed him trill.
What do you feed him?
IPO, steroids.
Oh, well, fine.
£70 a month? What are you, taking him to Alton Towers? What are you doing with him?
Firstly, he's got to be housed, he's got to be fed,
Yes,
he's got to be trained.
In a wooden shack.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Has he
leave
got
him in
a
wooden
bungalow?
shack. This is a prize winner.
Why do you say prize winner? What has he won?
He won the Prix Calais.
Yeah.
And he's won some local things, but that's the proper deal.
Pre-PRIX.
Correct.
How many pigeons were in the race?
It's about 450. It's less than 500, but more than 100. It's
Come
it's a lot.
on, 500. The sky would be black then with pigeons. I think it's the Germans, they're back.
They're released in Calais and they race all the way to...
Well, they race home.
And where's home?
Essentially, well, his is up in Lancashire.
Right.
What's the pigeon's name?
It's called Cobbold Joe. Cobbold, C-O-B-B-O-L-D.
Cobbled Joe.
Cobbled Joe.
It's because the original, as you know about racing pigeons, right?
Oh, I do know about racing
Toddy
pigeons.
Cobbold.
Yeah.
Toddy Cobbold was the grandfather.
Yeah.
And so we chose that name. That's nice.
So is that true? Is there a pigeon called Tolly Cobbold?
Don't know.
You said you knew about
with someone from a Hovis advert.
Are there any distinctive markings? So just if there were some pigeons there, say Trafalgar Square, I'd be able to, oh, that's Cobble Joe, down in London for the sales.
I'm going to be honest. I would struggle to choose her out of a pigeon parade.
Really?
But
Her, and she's called Joe.
Yeah.
So is it Joe with no E?
Yeah.
That's fine. Show it for Joanna.
Yeah. Next question.
I think I might have this. Yeah. I don't think lady pigeons do the racing because they would be pregnant some of the time.
I tell you what, she better not be.
It was only a cuddle, wasn't it, Richard? Do you go and watch do you go and when they go off, do you watch it?
I have seen the pigeon race once. Yeah,
How much of the race did
I've
you
seen
see?
the pigeon release. You've seen the release.
Have you ever seen a pigeon land?
Yeah, I've seen
You were there when the pigeon
yeah.
landed?
No,
You've never seen a pigeon land?
Right, I've seen a pigeon land, yeah.
Yes?
But not under racing conditions. Is that right? You've just seen a pigeon land in its spare
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
So you've only ever seen...
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you've seen your pigeon take off,
Yeah.
but you haven't seen your pigeon land.
I have seen my
Does that mean
pigeon-
your pigeon's lost?
I don't think when a racing pigeon lands, it's any different than a normal
No,
pigeon.
exactly.
Oh, wrong.
They don't get taken like
Skids
that.
right into the shed and go, whoa! I was going fast!
No, it doesn't. It raises its wings as it breasts the tape. That's what it does.
So, it's time to decide, Lee. What are you going to say?
I think it's
Do you
true.
think it's true?
I think, yeah, OK, not true.
Let's say lie. I get confused if you say not true. It is a lie!
You think it's a lie? Richard, the pigeons, the racing, Cobble
It
Joe.
is, I'm
Truth or
afraid.
lie?
A lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Richard doesn't have a 40% stake in a prize-winning racing pigeon. Carol, you're next.
I was rumbled at a dinner party after serving up a shop-bought pie and pretending I'd made it myself.
David.
What was in the pie?
Steak and kidney.
And what shop did you buy it from?
I bought it from a local butcher.
Did you make a big deal of saying, "Oh, look at my homemade steak and kidney pie, isn't it lovely?"
Unfortunately, I did,
Oh.
yes. I waxed lyrical.
And who were the people that you were trying to impress so much that you were homemaking, but you didn't know well enough to say, "I just bought this from a nice
They were the
butcher"?
parents of a good friend of mine who'd been really kind to us, and I wanted to do something nice for them.
What repay them by lying?
How did they find out? That's the
Yes.
question. That's the
Well,
important issue, Carol.
This was actually quite a bit awkward because we were all sitting there having a lovely meal, beautiful smells. I was saying, I'm so glad I've made this because I know steak and kidney is your absolute favourite. So, knife and fork in. How surprising, this is chicken and ham.
Oh, dear. Were you tempted to just go with it, pause, and then go, well, how do you make it?
And so what happened when they realised your deceitful ways?
Well, I had to really lie some more. And I had to think,
I really thought you were going to say come clean. Nice and more. Say, I'm afraid, do you know one of the first signs of Alzheimer's is thinking you're having chicken when in fact it's steak and kidney. It's a terrible thing. It means you've basically only got hours of consciousness left.
So what did you say, Carol?
well, I said, because they had thought that I'd cooked these, I said, well, I made a big batch of pies at the weekend, and I made some chicken and ham, and I made some steak and kidney, and I
that's good.
froze them all.
That's good.
Took out their own
That's very
ones.
good, actually. That's very
Slipped
dubious.
off her tongue.
Oh my God! We have nothing to fear from climate change. You'll just tell us what we want to hear. It's all fine.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're drowning, in fact, it's a lovely sunny day.
So, David, what are you going to think here?
Well, I think it's genuinely, as it's hard to believe Carol would ever lie, but she's lying one way or another. So is she lying
Yeah.
today, or did she lie a long time ago? I prefer to think that she lied a long time ago.
Yeah.
In which case, she's telling the truth now.
Although actually her lie now would, to be fair, be mitigated by the fact that that is the point of this game.
I'll be devastated because I've watched Carol and loved Carol for some period of time, and I'll be slightly devastated and I'll have to take the shrine down that I've got in the house. But I'll take that shrine down. She probably is telling the truth in that she lied.
Don't throw the shrine away, by the way. Well, we can have a little chat about it.
So, David, you think it's the truth?
We think it's true.
You think it's the truth? Right, Carol Kirkwood. Was it the truth or was it a lie?
It was the truth. Oh.
Yes, it's true. Carol was rumbled at a dinner party after serving up a shop-bought meal and pretending she'd made it herself. Susan, you're next.
The day before I need to make a journey, I often make the journey so that when it comes to making the actual journey, I'll know what the journey involves.
Wow. Anna, just how far have you gone on these journeys?
Probably driven an hour
From Scotland?
from where I live. If it's possible for me to do it like that, I mean,
Yes.
I'm not. It's strange. It's got to be possible. It's not like if I'm going to New York, I'll go the day before and come back. This is journeys that I can make, I would say, in about an hour's drive radius.
Always
of my house.
driving? You wouldn't do it on the train?
Oh, no, I would do it on the train. I've done it on the bus as well. I've taken the bus to make sure where the bus route goes and the bus stop
What, you
is.
don't trust that the driver knows?
No, it's me. I need to know where I'm going so I can.
You don't on a bus. He will just do it. You just sit back and relax.
No, but I think Susan's saying that there are certain things you have to do yourself, even when you travel by bus, like get on the bus, get off the bus.
At the right point.
At the right
also,
bit.
get on the right bus.
Yes,
There's
that's
more than one
Sorry,
bus.
you've-
I don't want to sound totally working class.
Tell us, Susan, if you would, the last time that you did this.
It was probably about 2 weeks ago.
Right.
I had to go to a meeting somewhere I'd not been before.
Right.
Where?
And
A self-help group or a meeting? You were going for self-help about stop being so anxious about going for journeys, and you
Yeah.
even wrecked that.
There must have been quite a few of you hanging outside the meeting place the day before.
Yeah. So I drove from my house to the location, looked at what the parking restrictions were so I could have the right change with me. So I was completely relaxed the next day.
If you know for a fact that you're going to do this, you're going to go the day before.
Yeah.
Do you not, the day before that, think, tomorrow I've got to do that thing where I go the day before somewhere and then do it that day?
Susan, this now makes sense, because didn't I see you yesterday? Just sniffing around outside the studios.
Yeah.
Did an event happen in the past such that you once arrived somewhere and went, oh, I wish I'd come here yesterday and I could have foreseen this terrible situation?
Like when JFK was shot.
Yes, I've always been haunted by that. If only I'd been there.
If he'd
at
gone the day
time.
before, he'd have known when to duck.
It's very rude to be late for things.
Is that
and
at
I'm
the base
paranoid
of
about
this?
being-
That-
I'm paranoid
that-
about
that's the
people
root of it.
thinking I'm rude or in any way,
Yeah.
you know, deceitful, like Carol. So,
What are you thinking then? It does sound plausible.
When you die, you'll have only lived a third of your life.
Yeah.
The other 2/3 was a recce.
yeah.
I just don't think it fits. Yeah, I think she lives life by the horns, or whatever that is.
Right. Lie?
Truth.
I would say the truth.
Do you think it's the truth?
I don't know. I'm practicing. I'm going through what I'm going to say in a minute. That wasn't my answer.
Okay. So what are you going to say?
It's the truth.
It's the truth. Susan, truth or lie?
It is the truth.
Yeah, it's true. The day before Susan needs to make a journey, she'll often make that journey so that she knows what that journey involves. Right. Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. Now, this week, each of Lee's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest, and it's up to David's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, Ian. So, Carol, what is Ian to you?
Well, this is Ian, and to frighten a teacher, we once hid a ram inside a classroom cupboard.
Lee, how do you know Ian?
This is Ian. He is the supermarket delivery driver who accidentally trapped me in the back of his van and drove me to his next drop-off point.
And finally, David, what's your relationship with Ian?
This is Ian. He is a skydiver who got blown off course and almost knocked me off my bike.
Right, there we have it. Carol's sheep prankster, Lee's accidental abductor, or David's diverted skydiver. David Mitchell and team, where are you going to begin?
Right, well, Carol, let's start with the ram in the cupboard.
Oh, the old Dave Mitchell chat-up line.
Why did you put a ram in a cupboard?
Well, Ian and I went to school together in the Highlands, and often you would see the sheep and the rams just, you know, meandering into the school grounds.
Yeah.
And this particular day, one came in.
So the ram wanders into the school grounds?
Yes.
And you think, oh, that's fine, it'll be quite docile, I dare say it'll agree to get into a cupboard.
Well, what happened was the teacher was late. He was quite often late, and we were in a wee porta cabin out the
Are
back
you saying
of
the
school.
teacher was a drinker?
No.
Okay.
But anyway, he was late, so we thought it'd be quite funny, because he was late, just to put this ram in his cupboard so that when he came in, the ram would be mad and come rampaging out.
Does Ian look like the kind of man that would grab a ram and drag it into a cupboard
Yeah, he does.
for a laugh? Does he looks
Yeah,
like
he
a kind
really
of a devil? And I think Carol, being attractive and beautiful, would have done that whole, oh, let's just put a ram in the cupboard. And Ian would be like, I'll show you how to put a ram in the cupboard.
So when the teacher eventually arrived, how long was it before he went to his cupboard for a little look at his possessions? And what happened?
It would have been about 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
And, of course, we were all sniggering in the
Sniggering.
class. He opened the door.
Opened the
This
door.
angry ram came rampaging right out at him.
Is that where the word
Rampaging.
rampaging comes from?
Well, that's when you're trying to contact a ram in the 1980s. Who would you like to quiz next?
David, could you describe how Ian, was it nearly hit you?
Yeah, skydiving. I mean, this goes back to '92, and my family have always been involved in the Scouts of Ireland, and so I was, the big jamboree was in Wicklow, which is just outside of Dublin, and I was on a tandem bicycle with my aunt, who's one of the heads of Scouting Ireland, and we were heading towards the jamboree, and they were launching a comic book character to remind kids not to start fires in forests. And he was called Fire Dog. And his catchphrase was, "Don't start a fire, woof." And for the launch, they decided in the jamboree they were going to parachute Fire Dog into the middle of the jamboree. And we were on the tandem heading towards it with our little Scouty ties on.
Can I just check? Fire Dog, and he says, "Don't start a fire, woof." Is it "Don't start a fire, woof," or "Don't start a fire, woof"? Which one is it? I want to know. I'm trying to genuinely want to, which is the campaign?
It's quite easy. This is actually quite easily solved immediately with a demonstration, because my understanding of skydivers is they have a really good core muscle. So essentially, if we do that bit from Dirty Dancing, where
You
lift
actually
me
didn't
up-
get any taller when
So-
you stood up. That was the oddest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen anyone stand up and remain the same height. Yeah. That was shocking.
If I just run towards you like and you just lift me up like the end, then you'll be a skydiver. And if you don't do it, I'll be really hurt and you're dead. So.
Likewise, in a minute, I'm going to ask you to shut me in the back of a van.
I was just going to say.
So what are you planning to do?
I'm seeing whether or not he looks frightened by the prospect of me running towards him, and he's got to lift me
He
up.
does look a bit frightened, yeah.
Also, Rob also looks frightened.
What if the end of my story is that, and then he whacked against a wall, his legs shot off, and he had to have legs made of glass?
Is that the end of your story? No, we're back to plan A. Run at it. How far away from the jamboree were you at the point of impact?
Well-
Sorry, near impact.
He had just missed the landing area by a few fathoms. And
Sorry, it was an aqua jamboree.
we swerved, we avoided him. He went into a hedge and we pulled him out. I was 14 or 15 at the time. And my aunt and Ian got talking. And that is why it's nice to have my Uncle Ian on the show.
Oh, that is...
Oh, no, that's a
That was a hell of a landing.
That is a bombshell.
Your aunt met her husband when he nearly hit her dressed as a dog.
Right, what about Lee?
So, Lee, how did you accidentally get shut in his van? What happened?
As you will know, that when the man who comes from the supermarket delivers your food, he delivers them in like a plastic box. Yeah? So he leaves the box and he goes into the kitchen and he drops off the food. And what I decided to do is that I'll help, right? He brings the last box. I said, "Is that it?" He said, "Yes, this is your last lot." Puts the thing, gets the bags, goes into the kitchen. Mr. Nice here picks the nice plastic things up and takes them to his van.
Oh, God.
So I go into the...
It's so cool.
This is like the start of an episode of Casualty, isn't it? So I go in, and as I put them in, I look to my left, and something catches my attention.
A lamppost.
No.
And it's snowing.
No.
And there's a fawn.
No. A little thing catches my eyes. Believe it or not,
Someone has
it was
looked a ram in the back of the van.
It was, believe it or not, the thing that caught my eye...
don't believe it, by the way.
Was a slightly ripped box of Cocoa Pops. And I thought, just for a minute, I thought, as Ian just had a little bit of a, like I would do, I'll have a little snack en route. So I just walk over to it. Now, as I walk over to it, it's only a couple of steps, I'm now hidden behind a box
Oh, you are kidding
of
me.
food.
That's
You know, the
just-
boxes of food
that's
they haven't yet been delivered. And at that moment, I hear the noise of the doors shutting and the little handle turning.
So why didn't you call out?
I did.
What, and he didn't hear you?
No.
What, over the noise of a van engine?
No,
It's
not
very
just a van,
loud.
the noise of Howard Jones on Magic FM. It was blasting.
Why didn't you-
try? Yeah, I'm going, help!
Why
And
didn't
he's
you
going,
bang on the
"What is
panel?"
up? Anyway.
What was it?
I mean, it might not be true, but God, it was dramatic.
We do need an answer. Is Ian Carol's sheep prankster, Lee's accidental abductor, or David's diverted skydiver?
The key thing is I don't want to be fooled by David O'Doherty. That's the key. Look at him. Look at that.
Do you remember, you know, in the brownies, you had the brownie promise and all of that. So do you remember anything from your scouting days, your promise or anything?
It's different in Ireland. The Scouts don't have anything that you would possibly remember.
No promises, no value system, other than if you see a dog go into a hedge, you marry it.
I would say Carol.
I think it's
You say
David.
Carol?
I think it's David.
You say Carol, you say David. I think it's David.
So you're
So we're
going,
gonna go
therefore, with David.
We're going
okay.
with David.
Ian, would you please reveal your true identity?
My name is Ian. Carol and I frightened a teacher by hiding a ram in the classroom cupboard.
Yes, Ian is Carol's sheep prankster. Thank you very much, Ian. Which brings us to our final round, Quickfire Lies, in which our panellists lie not only through their teeth, but against the clock. We will start with... It is David.
I once sent out 30 professional photographs of myself to try and get an agent. I got just one reply advising me to destroy all copies of the photographs.
David, what pose exactly were you doing in the glossy print?
I mean, I thought a normal, dignified, at the same time hilarious and talented one.
Show me.
Yeah, can you do it?
No, I think what it was...
Do it.
I think maybe in the picture, my mouth looked a bit wrong. You know, maybe it was a bit sort of...
Can I ask why you thought...
Or maybe...
But you didn't bother to change
it wasn't like...
And when was this? What period are we talking about?
It was in the 18th century. In the mid-late 1990s.
What kind of places were you sending them to?
Or did you just leave them in phone boxes around London?
How were you dressed in the photograph? Was it a casual or was it a smarter look that you went for?
I'm guessing
I think
smarter.
it's just in case he was wearing a leisure suit. Maybe it was the late 90s. You
What's
know,
a leisure suit?
Um,
Is that a sort of zip-up thing that you can relieve yourself in?
yes.
So it's what they'll be wearing in the future. It's just so convenient. Just get in and whatever happens, it's fine.
Did this dent your confidence, David?
Yes.
You didn't think I'll just get some more done, but this time without the stovepipe hat and the cravat?
I don't think I immediately got some more done. I mean, I have subsequently had other photos.
You got your
taken.
confidence back?
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Do you think that could be the truth?
I think it's true.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
I think it's true.
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 I think it's true. David, truth or lie?
It is true.
True. It's true. David did once send out 30 professional photographs, but was advised by an agent to destroy all copies. Next. It's David O'Doherty.
Possession.
There's a box under the desk. Just pop the box on the desk, and then there's a card inside it. Before you take out the possession, just read the card, please.
This is one of the pairs of leg warmers for birds that I have made. I would have brought more, but birds are using them.
Could you show us these leg warmers?
I live beside the canal, and the swans are very unhappy around there.
The swans? You've tried to put a leg warmer on a swan?
He hasn't tried to, he succeeded.
How the hell do you... A swan? So they're trying to feed it over the webbing, and he doesn't get crushed. It's got a great big beak on us.
Everyone knows about this, but if you befriend the swan, the first thing you befriend the swan when the wings go up like that, and then generally the next thing they go like that, as in make me leg warmers. That's it.
They for swans?
David, they would break your arm if you went near them.
Famously.
Famously.
That's what they do. They break your arm and then the Queen eats them.
Yes.
How do you get them over the feet?
Right, if you put your hand like that and then try and get it over there. It's like O.J. Simpson. Stick it on there. That's a swan.
That's a swan foot.
That's a swan.
With the swan, it's all about authority. So watch this.
No, they're webbed. They're
That's
webbed.
no good.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt the swan. You've just ripped through its webbing.
You know when you said swan at the beginning?
Yeah.
Did you mean sparrow? David, it's time to take a guess. I mean, I don't know which way you're going to go on this.
Maybe a swan could be able to slip that over its foot, and maybe a swan would derive tremendous warmth from this incredibly thin and flimsy and short piece of material going an inconsiderable distance up its really rather long leg.
I think it's true.
Don't say that! Don't say, because that's the sort of... That's what happens to your mind in this game. You say, and you start thinking, oh, yeah, of course, the fact that he said swan and it seems impossible is exactly what's so plausible about it.
If you people don't start taking this a bit more seriously, I'm going to bring my Uncle Ian out here again.
So what are you going to go for?
I think we're going to say lie.
Lie? You're saying it's a lie.
I'd just
David
like to
O'Doherty.
say, Rob,
Yes.
if it's true,
Yes.
I don't care.
David, truth or lie?
I'm afraid my tale of swan leg warmers is a lie.
Who'd have thought it? Who'd have thought it? Yes, it's a lie. David doesn't make leg warmers for birds. And that noise signals time is up. It's the end of the show, and I can reveal that David's team have 2 points and Lee's team has 4. But of course, it's not just a team game. My individual liar of the week this week is David O'Doherty. Yes, David O'Doherty. He's made the show like a massive bed and lied in it. Good night.
What I Lie to You returns in 2 weeks' time. There's room in the guest host chair for Frank Skinner. Here next on Have I Got News For You. Brand new for BBC Two, a unique tour through history with a time traveller's guide to Elizabethan England. While on BBC Three, can Sherlock rise to the challenge? It's a battle of wits for the detective in The Great Game.